Alright guys, well I'm back today with one of the nicest enclosed emitter RMSc red dots I've ever reviewed on the channel. And not just at a budget price point or not under a certain price, just simply one of the nicest ones I've ever reviewed, but it also happens to be affordable. This is the brand new Cyelee Cat EDG and it fits the RMSc footprint. Right off the bat, I'm going to give you the down and dirty specs and features, and you'll want to watch the entire video because we are doing a torture test on this dot because it's actually drop rated. The first thing you'll notice is it's insanely low profile, but still has one of the largest viewing windows of any RMSc dot I've tested on the channel. Now, is it the largest out there? I'm not sure, but it is very comparable to a standard RMR, which is generally a size up from the RMSc. On top of that, it's push button controls, super bright dot, clear glass, and it's drop proof rated like we mentioned earlier, which we are going to be putting to the test. It's also waterproof rated, shake awake technology, and very clear glass with a great dot. Let's dig into some of those features a little bit more, but I also want to mention the fact that this is also very affordable. It comes in at $279, which is a lot for a budget red dot, but when you consider all those specs and features, there's nothing like it on the market, and everything trying to compete with it in the similar price range just falls short. Things even more expensive than this also fall short when it comes to the specs and features, especially being a fully enclosed emitter. But you know how we do. We've got a discount that Cyelee provided specifically for my viewers to give you 20% off, and that actually drops the price to even more affordable, right around $223.99 with free prime shipping, making this the best RMSc optic that you can get, sub $250, but really sub $225 after all of those discounts. Now, if you want to pause and read some of the dimensions on the side of the box to give you window size and some of the other ratings, you could definitely do that, but this gives you kind of a general rundown. Now, let's talk about those specs and features and what makes it unique, but before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to AAC for providing the ammo to help make this video. Ran a lot of ammo through this optic to really prove it out, and AAC has been running great. Now, I ran a lot of their 147s, but also their 124s, and too many to count of their 115s without any issues. It just keeps chugging along. Now, one of the main things about this optic that really differentiates it from a lot of other RMSCs on the market is the fact that it's incredibly usable with its window size, and it's an enclosed emitter dot, meaning the emitter that displays that reticle system is actually trapped between two panes of glass. A lot of other optics on the market, including some of the older Cyelee ones, have exposed emitters out the back, which are not that big of a deal, and a lot of times they work out great, but they can get clogged up with dirt and debris. So if you're truly using this as a duty ready optic, or you're going to be using it in harsh conditions, having that emitter protected is going to be great because you can just simply wipe off the dirt, debris, and water off the lens and use your optic rather than digging it out with a toothpick or something like that. So right off the bat, this truly makes this a great carry option. Another thing about this is it's drop rated, and it's got lips and windows, or lips and protective hoods over the windows of the glass, making this truly drop rated. I've already been bumping it around, testing it's working out great. We will be doing a torture test on this optic, so again, watch the rest of this video. The other great thing about this is it's IPX7 waterproof rated, so it can be fully submerged. So if you are running this in a rain, or you're in law enforcement or using this as a carry gun in the rain, you're going to be good to go. Side load battery compartment makes it easy to swap out the battery without dismounting the optics. And on top of the side load, they still remain one of the lowest profiles I've ever seen on the flatness of an optic with integrated rear iron sights. The clicks are really nice to adjust everything in, and this actually has a large viewing window, and you can see how well it works even with that plate adapter to co-witness with standard height iron sights. I mean, this thing is just killing it one after another with specs and features and actual user interface. Now, I've been running it a ton, not only on those micro 380s and micro 9mm like the daggers, the shields, and 365, things like that. It also is the absolute best optic I think you can get for the Canik series of pistols. These actually come as full-size pistols, and one of the only full-size pistols that utilizes the RMSc adapter plates in the box. And that always frustrated me because you had to put a really small optic on top of a normally like a competition or full-size carry gun. No longer is that the case, and this is one of the best optics you can get for that Canon competition or Meta Series FX style pistols. It works out great on top, and it just picks up and points naturally with a larger viewing window. You can also see the glass is crystal clear and the dot gets insanely bright. There's no lighting condition on this dot that won't work. 10 total settings, 2 NV settings, and that's really key because a lot of times when you are drawing a handgun, you can't pop it out past the NV and utilize that effectively. So that's a really nice touch as well that this is included. Again, the dot gets bright, very long battery life, up to 50,000 hours on the lower settings, and this thing just runs and runs well. On top of that, you get every mounting screw you can possibly think of under the sun, as well as a nice tool to dial everything in and tighten up that. And it's really a complete package, perfect for you whenever you need it for either those micro compact 9s or something like this full size. But enough talking, let's head down to the range one more time and do a drop test on this optic to really push it to its limits. But I'm very confident that it's going to do well, but we have to see. Now for the torture test on the Cyelee Cat EDG. Now this is a drop-proof rated optic like we talked about earlier. So we will be bitting it up on the car hood, racking the slide with the optic itself, and dropping it down on a rock. But first we're going to confirm 0 on target from 7 yards. Then we'll fire from this exact same spot after all of the tests. Very similar to the water bottle test on rifle optics, but much more abuse on this drop-rated one. Let's take some shots. So we are aiming at this circle right here, and there are our 3 shots. So that is a nice tight group. Let's beat it up and see if it holds 0. First test is the car hood test and racking the slide. The gun is completely clear. A huge shout out to AAC Ammo again for making this possible. We are running 115 grain AAC, and it's been cycling great in this setup. The weight of the optic did not affect the dagger or the canic. It's been working out pretty good. So let's beat this up. There we go. No shifting 0 with that beatdown. Now to drop it on the rock. Now for the rock test, we're going to drop it from waist high and a touch above, actually probably chest high on this rock right here. The glass is still fully intact, no damage to the glass, so that's good news. Now let's see if it held 0. Yeah, guys, that did absolutely great. You can tell they're all in the same spot. I'll show you in a second. But what I am going to do to reconfirm, since they are so close together, I'm going to shoot at the very right circle after I drop it 3 more times. Equalizing the sound, equalizing the sound, equalizing the sound. So here's after our first drop test. Absolutely. Sorry about that, guys. My phone just died because of the heat. It was an overheat warning, but I hope you saw walking up where the shots were. I try to do those in one continuous shot, but it absolutely held 0 just fine after the first set of drops and after the second. That thing is tough, mean, and it's doing a great job. Back from the range, and you can see this thing held up beautifully. A ton of drops on this that we tested, and then even after that we dropped it some more for some of the intro shots, and I kept dropping it because I really wanted to get some good shots. Did not lose 0, locked up rock solid. The glass remains crystal clear, unbroken, and again, Look at the co-witness on this dagger. These are some of the lowest profile sights that the dagger offers, yet still you can co-witness. And that is another great thing. Although this has a 50,000 hour battery life, great waterproof rating, great shock resistance. I mean, the list goes on. In case it does go down, in case for some crazy reason you can't use it, unlike other ones that block your iron sights, you can still use your iron sights on your handgun, giving you the best of both worlds. In a nutshell, this is by far one of the best options I've ever tested on the channel for the micro RMSc footprint. And again, probably one of the absolute best options you can possibly get for the Canik series of handguns. Because of that larger viewing window, it still makes a great optic on a full-size handgun, even though those come with the RMSc cut. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you guys think of Cyelee? For me, they're absolutely killing it. Again, I want to give a huge shout out to Cyelee for sending multiple versions of these out, always helping out and sponsoring the channel. But guys, I just keep going back to them because they work great. And this drop-rated RMSc cut dual paint optic is freaking amazing. All the info and discount info will be in the description below. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.